Audio
So recently I
capture
did a video
not
about testing your
registered.
mind as far as a Mortal Kombat trivia video, and I did that kind of in a live reaction with you guys. I basically recorded myself for the very first time, going through the questions and giving my live reaction and giving you answers so you could take the test with me and then also take the test too with a link down in the description below. So I thought I would do that again with a behind the scenes facts you didn't know about Mortal Kombat. Now this comes from crack.com. I'll post a link down in the description below, but this is my live reaction to questions, or not so much questions, but facts about Mortal Kombat that I may already know or may not know. But yeah, we're gonna go with the list. There's 17 of them, and yeah, let's get to it. All right, first up, number 17. Mortal Kombat could have been a Van Damme video game. Midway's head Ed Boon liked the pitch for a martial arts game as long as Jean-Claude Van Damme was involved to give the game star power. But Van Damme said no, so Midway reluctantly went with the unprofitable, in their opinion, original option. So I did know about this one, and if you really think about it, when you look at Johnny Cage from I think the second Mortal Kombat, I think he looks straight up like Jean-Claude Van Damme. So not so much like from the facial features, of course, because he's got sunglasses on, but at least from the physique and then like just the trunks and the shoes and like the little red, kind of belt, cloth belt. It's straight up Jean-Claude Van Damme. So I knew about this one somewhat. All right, let's move on to the next one. Number 16, some fighters were inspired by Marvel characters. Oh, I didn't know that. Before Van Damme's name was attached, Johnny Cage was based on Iron Fist, and Jack Spriggs came from the Iron Fist crime-fighting buddy Power Man. Did not know that. Also, Reptile was partly influenced by Spider-Man's foe, the Lizard. Okay, I can see some of that. I can see some of those similarities. That's interesting. That's a good fact that I didn't know about that. Maybe that's
SWB
why
audio
Ed
capture
Boon is
not
so critical about
registered.
having a Marvel fighting game or wants to do something with Marvel because obviously he's already kind of looked at Marvel's playbook and adapted that to some of his own stuff. Interesting. All right. Number 15, Kano's fatality game came straight from Indiana Jones. Kano ripping off someone's still beating heart doesn't look just like the Mala Ram's thing in Indiana Jones Temple from the Temple of Doom. Got hooked on phonics just and read correctly. Sorry, guys. That was a direct inspiration as Kano director Richard DeVizio was a fan of Indiana Jones movies. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. I mean, when no lie, if you've seen that movie Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, when he does that, you're like, oh snap. So when Kano does it, it's not as shocking. But in the Indiana Jones movie, it was like, ooh, I don't know what that happened in my heart. All right, number 14. Reptile was a secret to everyone. Not even the development team knew the game included a secret unlockable character. Ed Boon programmed Reptile in the last minute by swapping the color of Scorpion and Sub-Zero's sprite. Interesting, interesting. I mean, I know there are other hidden characters locked within Mortal Kombat, even Mortal Kombat, the various games throughout the franchise. But yeah, I was not aware that Reptile was one of them. Interesting. All right, number 13. Oh my gosh. Vanilla Ice is connected to Mortal Kombat through the Ninja Turtles. Okay. Richard DeVizio and Daniel Pesina. I think Daniel Pesina is the one that played or was Johnny Cage in the animation character, who portrayed several of the fighters. Were also Foot Clan soldiers in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. Yep, that movie infamous for randomly featuring Vanilla Ice and his ninja rap. Interesting. All right. It's kind of like a 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon kind of thing going on. All right. Number 12. The Nintendo version was notoriously bloodless. Removing the gore from Mortal Kombat is like removing talking animals from Disney. Oh, yet that's what Nintendo demanded for the SNES port. The
SWB
second version
audio
allowed the
capture
blood to be
not registered.
turned back on with a cheat code, which was one of the reasons it was widely outsold the Super Nintendo version. Now, I did watch a video game history video of Mortal Kombat, particularly the original one, I think the second one, and they did talk about this. So I was aware of this one, but it's kind of crazy to think, back in the day, you could hit somebody and they didn't want blood to be shown, which it can work. But I mean, between Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct, blood just goes along with the game. All right, next one. Let's go to the next one. Mortal Kombat was created by a bunch of buddies. I knew that. After Street Fighter II carved a niche for fighting games, Midway artist John Tobias on the left wanted to make one of those. So he brought together a few old friends who were into martial arts and creative stuff to help him with that. So there's John Tobias and our buddy Ed Boon. So I knew that part. All right, let's see. Number 10, the moves were shot in a broom closet. Oh, I don't know, it was a broom closet. Midway didn't expect the game to be a hit. That meant no overdue interference from higher ups, but also no resources. The characters' moves were filmed with a camcorder making makeshift equipment. Now, I did know that I've seen a couple of these behind the scenes videos, and I didn't know it was a broom closet, but I knew that it was bare minimums, but you really couldn't tell. I mean, I feel like for what they did a really good job. All right, let's move on to number 9. Scorpion and Sub-Zero were originally brothers. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. In the backstory, as John Tobias initially conceived it, the two ninjas were brothers who became enemies, but that was later scrapped. Oh, I think that would have been a better story overall, maybe. I think fans would have wanted that. Let me know in the comments, would you have wanted Scorpion and Sub-Zero to have been brothers and then just had some, major beef they just couldn't get through? Maybe had some mommy-daddy issues or something. I don't know. All right, let's move on to number 8. The Mortal Kombat dragon came from a desk ornament. A small dragon on the desk of a Midway executive was digitized and used in the game's background.
SWB
John
audio
Tobias used that as a reference
not
for
registered.
drawing the dragon on the coin-op arcade and then the iconic image or logo. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. I mean, to think that you're just sitting there in someone's office looking around at the knickknacks, you're like, that'd be a really cool logo. And then you just decide to make it. So that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty creative. Number 7, the fights had to end with a bang. Finish him. Ed Boon didn't like that in games like Street Fighter, the bouts just ended. Something should happen. Somehow you got to finish the guy off. The team took Boon's word to heart and had the game challenge the player to do exactly that. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, it's just, I can see that with Street Fighter. You're fighting and it's over. So it's kind of cool to know that he wanted more of like a hurrah. And that's how we got the finishing moves. That's pretty cool. All right, number 6. Mortal Kombat is spelled with a K for trademark reasons. Okay. Dragon Attack and Ultimate Kumite, or Kumite, I don't know how you say that word. Kumite, I don't know. Were among the titles considered until they went with Mortal Kombat with a C, except that it was spelled with Mortal Kombat as that was easier to trademark. Okay. And maybe also combat, maybe it's a violent word. Maybe it was easier with the K. It kind of threw people off. I like it better with the K. And I know that Ed Boon likes to refer to a lot of things with K's instead of C's in the word. So I think it's become a shtick now for him. So I'm down with it. All right, number 5. Goro was a foot-tall dummy. Okay. I think I kind of heard about this. There aren't many 4-armed giants around, so the half-human, half-dragon boss was a stop-motion puppet. It was made by sculptor Kurt, I'm going to butcher his name, Chiarelli, a former college roommate of Richard DeVizio. Okay, I mean, looking for this picture, I could see that he's probably just like some type of toy, but I didn't
SWB audio capture not registered.
That's crazy. I mean, it makes sense. You couldn't put that in a suit, and they were going to do type of CGI stuff around what didn't happen. So this game came out in '92, so I can see that. All right, number 4. Scorpion was going to use a lasso. Daniel Pesina didn't like the idea, thinking it was a Wonder Woman type thing. That's why I was thinking too when I read that line. So he brought a rope dart he had at home. These guys were really into martial arts. Richard DeVizio came up with the get over here move when he saw it. Well, I'm glad he did that. And I think after watching the Mortal Kombat movie where we kind of saw the Hanzo Sashi character kind of just pick up a rope with, a hook on the end that was used more for gardening and stuff like the gardening shear, they put on the rope. I think it kind of gave it more of an impact than versus just a bunch of rope. So I'm glad that they did that. All right, number 3. The game was an unexpected success. I didn't know about this. Midway didn't expect to produce more than 200 arcade cabinets of Mortal Kombat. 1 year later, when the game was released on home consoles, they were talking about millions of cartridges. Oh my gosh, they were talking about millions of cartridges sold. I knew that too because growing up, a lot of the games I played, like there was a lot of Capcom games. There was old X-Men, Marvel game. So Street Fighter for sure, Double Dragon, stuff like that. But when it came to Mortal Kombat, I mean, once I saw one Mortal Kombat, arcade cabinet, I started seeing them everywhere. I saw Mortal Kombat 2. When Mortal Kombat 3 came out, I mean, those were all over the place. So even Mortal Kombat 4. So I can expect to see that this is, while they didn't think it was going to be very much, it just took off like wildfire. So number 2, the creators of Mortal Kombat didn't see a cent. Oh, I didn't know that. That's not good. While Midway was breaking it in, the small team that actually made the game was left out of the windfall. Well, that's sad here. As per their contracts, they were paid for their work, and that was it. Now Midway owned even their
SWB audio
likenesses.
capture not
That's why some of them
registered.
refused to reprise their characters in the sequels. Oh, okay. I mean, I wondered about that, and I know that a lot of I've seen, or I have kind of heard and read some articles about how like Pacina and some of the other ones they didn't return because of that, but I didn't realize that they were all kind of left out in the dust. That sucks. All right, and finally, the last one. They weren't trying to make an ultra-violent game. Okay. That just happened as part of development, said John Tobias. They didn't want to add a bit of blood. They did want to add a bit of blood, bruises, and that kind of stuff, but the technological limitations of the time didn't allow for such a subtle, grounded approach. Interesting, interesting. I can kind of see that. I mean, but if you really think about it, if you're having two ninjas fight to the death, I would think even with the finishing moves, it's going to be considered violent. Maybe not ultra violent, but violent. Because I remember Mortal Kombat was not at its peak, but it was used in a bunch of, as an example for legislation at the time, trying to, put the video game ratings on there because of the violence and the blood. So it wasn't just the blood, it was the violence too. Because, politicians think that when you play a Mortal Kombat game, you're going to walk around and do uppercuts to everybody, and then also you're going to carry around a rope with a shear on the end and start, trying to impale people as you walk down the street, because that's what we all do, right? We're all going to do that. But nonetheless, I can see how they were just basically trying to make a martial arts fighting game with a little bit of extra, pizzazz, and that was my version of the Salt Bay guy. But trying to add a little bit more pizzazz to it, and then, it turns around that people are labeling as ultra violent. All right, so those are 17 behind-the-scenes facts you probably did not know about Mortal Kombat. What do you think about the list? I'm going to put the description down below so that case if you
SWB audio
too fast,
capture
or if you want to get
not
more
registered.
details or share it with your own, you can feel free to do that. But let me know from the list which facts you did know about, which ones you found interesting, and maybe you have some facts about Mortal Kombat that weren't on the list that you want to share. Love to see them in the comments down below. That's if it's good, guys. Hit that like button for subscribe to the channel, and yeah, make sure you can check out my video for the Mortal Kombat Test Your Might trivia quiz. I'd love to see if you can test your might and if you can beat me at the quiz. I'll see you guys next time on the Mashup.